Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Kim from My Feathered Nest. So everything is popping up carrots around here at the farmhouse. If you haven't watched my Easter tree all decorated with carrots here in the dining room at the farmhouse, then I highly recommend that you do that. I'll make sure that I link that video in the description box. But today we're going to be working on a DIY carrot inspired wreath, and it turned out so cute. So let me just give you a little snippet of what it looks like. So here it is, and obviously I said carrot inspired. It's not a realistic carrot, people. So this wreath ended up, I think, looking so cute. I have it hanging over the fireplace on my mantle here in the dining room, and I'm just really pleased with how it turned out. So if you are interested in finding out how I created this super cute carrot inspired wreath, then stay tuned for this DIY. Okay, so some of the items that you are going to need to complete this project are a glue gun, possibly. We are going to be also using floral wire. So I'm not sure if the glue will actually be, if we'll have to use it or not, but it's kind of a just in case. It depends, I guess, too, if you want that added stability. We are also going to be using some floral tape to kind of wrap it, and this is just going to basically be giving a finished edge to the back of the wreath, which probably no one will ever see, but it does make your project maybe look a little bit more finished and polished. I have scissors here, but you really need wire cutters. I'm just hoping my scissors will do with the florals that I have to cut, just because my wire cutters are at the bottom of a box right now. Don't ask why. Anyway, you're also gonna need some form of a flat type of stick to attach your tulips to. I have 2 paint sticks right here. If you have maybe a scrap piece of thin wood, I think that would work as well. But I have 2 of them because the height that I want, or the length that I'm gonna want for the actual craft, I'm probably going to end up gluing these painter sticks together to make just a longer stick. But obviously these are free at Ace and Lowe's and Walmart, all those places. Anywhere where you get paint, you can get these. If you are interested in making a bow for your wreath, then you need some ribbon. Wired ribbon, of course, always works the best. I just bought this jumbo roll of burlap ribbon from Hobby Lobby when their ribbon was half off, so it only cost $5, and it's like 30 feet, so I will not need burlap for quite some time now. I need to pick up a couple greenery pieces for the top. I picked these up at Hobby Lobby. These are just a regular item. These were not in their spring section. They were just with all of their other greenery bush type of picks. I picked these because I thought they most closely resembled the top of a carrot. I liked that they were really full. And then, of course, you are going to need some florals. I have chosen just to use orange tulips, but you can put some orange roses in there or any kind of a variety of orange flowers. I would not suggest using any other color because the whole theme of this wreath is to make it look like a carrot, and if you start throwing other colors in it, of course it's going to kind of take away from that look. I picked up 3 bunches of tulips from Michael's. All right, so let's get on with the craft. Okay, so like I said, to get the length, I am going to be gluing my paint sticks kind of end to end here. I'd say that altogether, my stick is probably roughly around 24 inches long. Okay, so I glued my sticks together, and let me just show you. I don't even know if you're going to, this is gonna be so easy. I didn't realize that these tulips, you can just pull the floral off and it just comes off of the wire that's holding it onto the big stem. So it's kind of satisfying to do that. I don't know why, but it is. So there you go. Just go ahead and deconstruct your tulips off of the bush. Okay, So we are gonna start out by grabbing 3 of our tulips, and at the very end, a line of glue down here, and I'm just going in the center, and I'm just gluing the first tulip down. I'm gonna hold it for just a little bit, and then I'm gonna come back with 2 other tulips, and I'm gonna glue them right next to it, but I'm going to glue them just a little to where the floral, the tulip actually is a little bit shorter than my first tulip. So this guy and this guy will kind of line up together, but they are shorter than the original tulip, or the first tulip I placed on. So let me get them glued down. Okay guys, I'm sorry. I had a couple interruptions. So let me show you what the deal is. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna be working in basically 3 tulips at a time. So this one's lower, and then these 2 are side by side, and they're a bit shorter than the original one. Okay, so I noticed that my hot glue was not wanting to stick really well. The florals kind of kept popping up a little bit. So I went ahead and I did wrap the stems with the stick with the floral wire. So I'm probably gonna do that the whole entire time. I'm thinking that after each layer of 3, I'll have to wrap again. And so here's another thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and cut my tulips, just because I think it'll be easier to work with. It won't be so thick, because we're gonna keep layering tulips on top of tulips. So guys, I've never done this before either, which is typically what happens to me when I do these DIYs. I'm kind of just doing them on my own. I was inspired to do this just based off of some Pinterest pictures that I saw. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna do the next layer. Same thing. I probably am going to use a little bit of glue to just hold it down until I get the floral wire on there. But this one is going to go lower. Kind of a little bit on top. It's going to be a little bit shorter than these 2. Okay, and then here I come with my next one, and like I said, it's going to be shorter than the one in the center. Does that make sense? I hope that that makes sense to you guys. I'm going to pick that up, hold it in place, and I'm going to kind of close to the tops of the tool, or the tops of the stems, and I'm just gonna start wrapping. Hope you guys can see that. So this is what we have so far. I hope this is making sense. So basically, think about it as working in groups of 3 tulips, and you're basically doing the same thing over and over again. You have the center tulip, which is going to be basically, because you know we're working, these are going to be hanging, pointing down. You're basically making that center one lower than the 2 next to it, and then the 2 next to it on either side of that center one are basically lined up perfectly. And then, so like I said, we're going to continue to work and build this in groups of 3 over and over again. Don't forget to cut your stems to give yourself more room to work with, and continue to wrap. So, okay, I wanted to show you guys something really quick that I was noticing. So this is what I was starting, this is where I'm at pretty much. But one thing that I wanted to kind of fix a little bit. So obviously the bottom of the carrot should be skinnier than the top. So I noticed as I was going up, even though I was kind of trying to spread my tulips out on the sides, I was noticing that I wasn't getting more like that tapered type of a look that I wanted. So what I'm gonna start doing now, first of all, I am going to make sure, like I said, that I'm spreading my tulips out. But as I'm getting up here, I've got my 3 placed right here, but as you can see, I've got a good amount of space in here and a good amount of space in here. I'm gonna bring 2 more tulips in right there. And then I'm gonna start my next row. And so you're gonna kind of have to just eyeball this a little bit, and then at the very end, we can also, if we have to, you know, place just single tulips in where we maybe see a blank spot or a spot that needs a little bit more filling. So what I did at the very top, instead of going back with another row, I saved about 4 of my tulips and just kind of placed them in at the on the very last row, kind of more so at the sides, just to try and give the top of the carrot more of the width that I was looking for. So what I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to go ahead and take the very top, and this is where I'm going to use, just to secure it a little bit nicer, I'm going to go ahead and open my floral tape up, and I'm going to just wrap the very top stems to the back of the stick. I will be back with you when I am finished with that. Guys, so I am back with you. It's been a couple days because we had a lot of busyness going on, and I couldn't get to working on this again. But I do want to let you know a couple things. First of all, let me show you what we have. So here is what I have thus far, and you can see, if you look at it, it looks like a carrot. I mean, for the most part, you know, this is a floral wreath. So, I mean, if you're looking for a realistic carrot, obviously you're not gonna do this. But I say that because I showed it to my husband. I was like, isn't it cute? Doesn't it look like a carrot? And he was like, well, he's like, you need to do something to it because it just looks like a bunch of flowers upside down. So leave it to a man. Leave it to him to second guess my creativity. But anyway, no, seriously though, I think that this would be cute just as is. Of course, you would need to add some greenery for the stem, and I think a bow would look really cute, especially to hide some of this stuff at the top that you probably wouldn't be able to hide with just adding a stem. You can leave it right there. You could put some greenery up at the top, put a bow on it, and pretty much call it a day if that's what you're going for. But if you know anything about me, you will probably realize already what I'm about to say. And that is that I am just not satisfied with just this wreath form. I think it's cute, and I think, like I said, it would be cute, it'd be simple, but I am not a simple girl. I have told y'all before, I'm a maximalist. So because of that, I went back to Pinterest and I was looking at some inspiring ideas and stuff like that in regards to doing up a carrot wreath like this. And I was really liking the ones that I saw that had more than just tulips on them. They had they were just fuller, they had more going on, they had a little bit more whimsy. So I went back to Michael's and I did pick up this little bushel of florals. I liked it that it had a lot of greenery on it and that it was like smaller flowers. So I'm gonna use this as some filler. And I also picked up 2 of these roses in this really pretty orange color. I did pick up 1 of these green stemmy picks because I think what I'm gonna do is kind of maybe split it apart, and then I'm gonna have these kind of as a part of the stem but kind of flowing down a little bit. So that is what I'm gonna work on right now. So let's get to working. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this apart and of course cut down the stems on the roses, and I'm going to add them in. So I think what I'll do is I'll just kind of do it. I'll do the step and then I will show you. And how I'm going to attach them is I'm probably just going to put some hot glue at the end of my stems and kind of just shove them up, and hopefully that hot glue will attach to one of the florals or something like that. So I've got a couple left, but I want to go ahead and put my roses on now. And because I'm going to go ahead and glue these on, but I think what I'm going to do is maybe glue the leaves down onto the floral, or I'm sorry, onto the rose itself. And that way when you put it on, it kind of gives it, so it doesn't blend, because especially because my my flowers are all orange. I want to differentiate between the tulips and the roses. I want to make sure that you're going to be able to see them. So I'm going to glue the leaves from the roses onto the rose itself. So I went ahead and I glued on the 2 roses and placed those other 2 bushy flower picks that I had on, and this is the result thus far. This is what I'm going to work on right now. This is the one that I'm going to basically be kind of putting in such a fashion that it kind of hangs down from the sides. So I have attached the cute little greenery stems on there, and this is what we've got so far. And I think it's really coming together just like I wanted it so far. It's not done. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and work on attaching these guys. I bought 2 of them and I'm not sure if I'm gonna clip them all apart. That's what we're gonna work on right now. Let me see. So I'm thinking, because this is such a thick stem, I'm gonna go ahead and start clipping them off and just kind of do them kind of individually. Even though that may be a little bit of a pain, I'll probably use that floral wire maybe to wrap again, like I did the tulips originally, just because these are kind of funky. So I'm gonna go ahead and just clip them off that big thick stem. I have decided to go ahead and make my bow for right here, so that will give me an idea whether or not I want to add more of the top greenery. I decided I make bows and have been making bows for a very long time. And I pretty much just eyeball it. I don't have a set way of doing it necessarily. I have always instructed you guys, if I ever do a tutorial on a wreath, to go check out Miss Arlen, Arlen's Country Craft Corner, because she has great tutorials on how she makes her funky loopy bows. However, we are gonna try something new. So I bought the Bodabra. I found this at a thrift store for $3 and I bought it and had everything in it. But I also bought the Deluxe Easy Bow Maker because I really have been wanting to try both of these out. So I have never used either one of these products before. I will make sure that I link that in my Amazon store in case you are interested. And if they still sell the Bodabra, I will link that as well so you can kind of check both of those out. If you are bow challenged, this is probably a good product for you, but how is it going to be for me? I do not know because I'm so used to just eyeballing things. We shall see. Okay, so there is my bow after I've got it nice and fluffed up. That took a little bit because I can also tell that this was definitely my first time using this bow maker because of the simple fact that I forgot to twist some of them and had to kind of retwist them as I did this. But I learned a little bit about this thing. I think this thing is going to be super fabulous. It's going to make bow making a lot easier. I do really think so, but it's going to take a couple times for me to get completely used to it. I will tell you that using this thick burlap wired ribbon was a little bit probably more difficult than using just a regular thinner floral ribbon. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut dovetails. And I just fold my ribbon in half and I go from the inner corner and just go up on an angle. Creates a nice dovetail. I still have the wire in the back, but that's going to be great for attaching. So then kind of look back at it. You can always make your tails shorter if need be. Some people like to kind of bend them up and accordion style them. Some people like to twist them. We'll see once I get it on there. I have a feeling I'm going to have to make this shorter, but we shall see. Attach it up here. Guys, so I attached my bow. It is a rather big bow. Big bows. I love big bows, always have. Sorry, but I do. Anyway, so there is what she is looking like so far. I'm going to go ahead now, and I feel like I am going to need maybe a little bit more greenery on the top sides. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down and attach that greenery onto the sides just like I did before. I will make sure that everything is nice and fluffed up. And then I will be back to you guys with the final reveal of this really cute carrot wreath. I will go ahead and hang it on the mirror, which is above my fireplace here in the dining room, and I will show you what that looks like. Here is the completed piece. I'm sure the lighting is not going to be super great, It is actually nighttime now, and I've got the lamp on next to it, and you can see in the mirror that I have my chandelier in the dining room on. But I'm gonna get really close to it so that I can show you a couple of the different finishing touches that I added. Anyway, so I actually ended up taking and robbing some of these little small miniature tulips from some of the tulip bushes or bunches or whatever that I had on my Easter tree. So if you haven't watched that video, I highly recommend it. The tree turned out so cute. I'll just give you a little snippet of it now. So if you can see right there, there's a bushel of those little mini tulips, but you can see that the colors are yellow, white, and orange. So I just snipped off from a couple of them, a couple of the orange mini tulips. That way, I could add a couple on here. So I just have, I think I snipped off like 5 of them. So I did add that just for another thing. You can't really necessarily see it unless you're really, you know, up close and stuff. But I just love little details like that. So I did that. And of course, I did clip off a few of the single pieces of those top greenery picks that I purchased. I clipped off a couple of them, and you can see that I've got some of them randomly placed throughout the carrot wreath. I did that, and let's see, another thing that I did was I added raffia. I added some raffia to the bow. I added a little bit behind the bow, and in a couple different little places I just added some raffia into the wreath itself. Just for some interest, just for some added texture, just for some more dimension. I am really a fan of very whimsical things, and so you can't hardly ever get too much or too big for me. So how cute. I am just in love with this carrot wreath. My interpretation of a carrot wreath, I should say. So let me get up close and personal so y'all can see it. Super cute. You can see I kind of, instead of clipping my tails shorter, I just kind of waved them in there just so it wouldn't cover up my rose. So there she is. I'm in love with it. It just goes perfect in here because, like I said, my whole theme with the tree and what I'm going for in here is just more about carrots, in particular orange. So I'm gonna just go ahead and end this video. I'm not gonna do this really fancy outro or whatever on myself because I'm a hot mess. And I wanna make sure I get this video up for you guys in case you want to make your own carrot inspired wreath. Anyway, guys, I will see you in the next video. Make sure that you are subscribed to my channel because, like I said, I've got some more spring videos coming out to you guys along with some other fun things. So hit that bell. You'll be notified when I post a video after you've subscribed. Like, share, comment, love it all. Make sure you follow me on Instagram too. I'll make sure I link that in the description box. Okay guys, have a great day. Be blessed. Bye.